are
How you
you?
doing? You okay? I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm fantastic. To be fair, for the week runs so quick, right? I didn't even know today was Wednesday, man. For real. I was like, is it Wednesday today? You're like, yes. I'm like, sure. Yeah. But yeah, man. But life is good.
Oh,
Life is
you're
good.
joking.
How you been? You all right? Nah, seriously, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't remember. I was like, damn, it's Wednesday.
I'll tell you what, though, today,
It's
this
good.
week's been a busy one for me as well. It's been non-stop. Um, yeah, sorry, I'm just, our special guest today, she only has about 15 minutes because she's going to jump onto something very shortly afterwards as well. So I'm glad to
That's
be
fine.
able to get her. I think, yeah.
Let's get on board. Let's get
So
on
I'm just
board.
hopefully she's ready and she's there you are.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? What's good? What's good? Welcome to Chit Chat
I'm
Wednesday.
doing
How you
well.
doing? How
Thank
you
you
doing
so
today?
much for having me. Can you guys hear me?
We can, yeah.
Yeah, loud and
Amazing.
clear, loud and
Oh,
clear.
thank you
By the way, I love
so
the
much.
glow, by the way. I love
Water.
the glow.
It's a
You look
water.
amazing.
You're
Ooh, let's
welcome.
go.
So thank
Oh, right. So what were you about to say?
No, I was just going to say thank you guys so much for inviting me to this. I love conversations about business, mindset, everything.
Yeah.
And I feel honored that you've invited me, guys, to share this moment with you. And I look forward to our conversation.
We're definitely honoured, and we're conscious that you've only got about 15 minutes. So normally we do a nice introduction, but we're going to jump into it. I think we all met. Devon and me already knew each other, but you came to our attention at the same event. So when I saw you, I thought I need to talk to this lady. so if you remember, I was hovering around trying to get your attention after you did
Yeah.
that. But anyway, right, like I said, we're going to jump into it. Please introduce yourself to everyone.
Oh my goodness, I find it so weird when it comes to introducing myself, but it's one of those things that,
Tell us who
yes,
is
yes.
it Sylvia, right? Is
Okay,
that your
so
name? Tell us who
I
is
am
Sylvia.
a mom to a beautiful 9-year-old. She's my world. She's my life. She's my everything and my biggest motivation. I'm also a full-time special needs teacher. So I love my job. I love the fact that I get a chance to give students who don't usually have a voice, and I get to help them with their educational journey. So that's one thing that I'm really, really passionate about. And then in my spare pockets of time, I also lead an incredible team of women and men who are within the travel industry, and I am helping them to actually level up and create that residual income within the travel industry as well. They travel smarter, they benefit, and I just love everything about what I do. Um, the one thing that I'll say is that when I came across my travel business, and this is what actually makes me who I am right now, I was in the worst place mentally, emotionally, financially, in all aspects of my life. I felt like I knew who I was as a teacher, I knew who I was as a mother, but I didn't have a really good understanding of who I was as Sylvia. So when you asked me that question, I actually took a moment to really think about who I am as me. And what I love about my journey over the last 2 years is that I've got to discover who Sylvia is by me stepping out of my comfort zone and by me surrounding myself with people who are supporting me, inspiring me, motivating me, and helping to learn a lot about myself. And I'm able to help other people to do the same thing as well. So if you were to ask who I am as Sylvia, I am a mom, teacher, and all of the other hats that I wear. But the one thing is, I'd say I'm a child of God, a woman who's there for other people, a woman who wants to use my gifts and my talents to inspire, motivate, and encourage others in a very authentic way. If you're asking me a question, the one thing that you will get is an authentic answer. So yeah, that's who I am.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, there's so many stuff I could like pick out from what you just said about you. But one thing I want to see, I'm going to dive in to about is the confidence. I could hear the confidence in your voice. So the question I wanted to ask you, a lot of people have been asking me the same question as well. How did you obtain that confidence? Like, what process did you go through? Or how about like in your personal development
Yeah,
world
so
did
the
you
one
get
thing
that
that I
confidence?
would say is people who come across my page on social media and I tell them that I'm an introvert, they're like, no, you're not an introvert. Come on, you show up on your story, talk about mindset all the time. I feel like I know you. But in all honesty, I used to be an introvert. I believe that that is not who I am anymore, just purely because I've gone through a journey of discovering myself and discovering the power of connection and the power of having more people and creating those relationships and that network in itself. I remember being nervous to even do a talking story or even post a picture of myself on social media, right? Because I was always thinking about what other people will think. What will people think about that picture? Will they be looking into details? What if I don't look well? And I was living in other people's views or views that I thought that they had of me, instead of living in my own potential and living in my own power. So when I became my own independent travel business owner and I started learning how to coach and help other people, I realized that I have to actually change the way I see myself, and I had to work on myself so that I can be able to help inspire and work on other people. There is that song that we know that says, I'm starting with a man in the mirror. You know that song, right? Exactly. It
Yeah,
all
who don't? Yeah, it's
starts with the
amazing. Yeah.
internal work before you can see the external confidence in yourself, right? You have to go through a journey of self-discovery, a journey of healing, because we all go through so much trauma in our childhood life. We all go through so many challenges that leave marks in ourselves, that make us doubt ourselves, right? So you have to be willing to go through that journey and be uncomfortable with it so that you can come out on the other side as well. The one thing, we actually had a training this morning about confidence, and the one thing that holds us back is fear, right? And when you think about it, when a
Definitely.
child is born, the only fear that they have is the fear of falling. They don't fear anything else at all,
Hmm.
right? So all the fear that we actually develop and all the fear that we have is things that we have learned from watching other people and seeing how they've reacted to things in itself. And we let fear hold us back so much from things that are actually going to help us to unlock our greatness in itself. So when I decided that this business has been given to me by God, I went through a season of prayer and saying, God, this is the path that you selected for me. I'm not going to take those steps unless you come with me. Help me to discover who I am within you, who discover who I am as myself. And I'm willing to leave my comfort blanket behind and take those steps. So I always actually posted this on my feed today, and I said, I divorced my comfort blanket. I had to divorce my comfort blanket
Wow.
because it was holding me back from being the
I
person
mean,
that I was created to be. And the one way that you can do that is surrounding yourself with a community like you guys, right? You guys are in your own journey of self-discovery, and you're supporting other people. So that is it. And I feel like I've just spoken a little bit, but I hope I've answered your question.
yeah, perfectly, perfectly. I mean, there's so many questions I wanted to ask, right? But one question I wanted to ask before I'm about go to his question. How did you come about with that aha moment, like within your journey? I know you probably started like, I don't know, a year or two ago, but
Okay.
how did that come about, your
So
journey?
there's a lot of moments that within my life where I've struggled and felt like I've hit a brick wall and I've wanted to give up, right? But it's the moments that I looked into my daughter's eye and I realized that she deserves more. She deserves more, and I wasn't giving her that, right? I wasn't giving her that. I was giving her Sylvia the mom, but I wasn't Sylvia the mom with all the potential that I have within me, right? Because I was constantly listening to what social media is saying, watching TV all the time. And I just felt like I was dying internally, like my passion was going. I was just being monotonous in things that I do, like going to work, coming home, sit TV, watch TV. And I looked at my daughter and I saw how driven she is. And I was like, you deserve more. You deserve me to be better. You deserve me to show up more for myself. And that aha moment came on when a friend of mine told me about my travel business. And even though I have a really good teaching career in itself, and by the way, guys, we can continue for up to about 25, age 25, so that's good. So when the business was shared with me and I realized that I actually didn't have £156 to invest in something that was going to help me go, that was my moment. I was like, no, this is not the life that I want my daughter to be. I have to be able to be putting myself out there to create financial, emotional, and all the other bits that comes along with it. And when I made that decision, I knew that I was going to go through some hard times, because when you go into schools, you spend about 3 or 4 years in university, right, before you actually come up with the qualification. I saw it as like, I am going to give my business as long as it takes for me to grow to become the person that I am. And that journey has given me the best joy in itself. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping other people to have that realization that where you are, your story, your past, your test is in the past. It's not what your future would look like, but you have to be willing to see yourself in that light and to see yourself 5 years from now. And if you see that you have bigger goals in 5 years, and then you ask yourself, is what I'm doing today on a day-to-day basis helping me to get to that? And I looked, I'm like, watching about 4 hours of Netflix after work, I don't think that is going to really help me to get there. And when I started making small changes within my life and creating healthy habits, I started seeing such a huge change in myself. Like reading, I have lots of books. I've got books there,
Wow.
you know, that I used to read. So yeah, that in a nutshell is that.
I love that.
So I have a question, and it ties into something that you brought up a couple of times now. So look back a bit before you started this. So you said that you're an introvert, and yet I know that you're I shy away from the word leading in a sense, because all of us are independent businesses, but we're all working in partnership. But how did you get it into, you know, now you're in a position of helping and mentoring people running their own business? Would you 2 years ago have done something like this, or have you surprised yourself, or did you see that in you anyway?
I didn't see the person who I am right now. I really didn't even know that I had all this potential within me. I really didn't know. And so many of us are actually sitting on so much potential, because we all have talents and gifts that were given to us that only us can put into the world, and only us can put into other people. And it starts by you actually going through the journey of understanding yourself. So if you ever told me that I'd have a business, I'd have a team of 70 people that I coach and mentor, I'd do motivational speeches.
Let me press the pause button. Say that again. Say that nice and slow. You have a team of...
I have a team of 70 people that I coach and mentor. So I'm in the UK, some I'm in the US, and we are growing so much. And some of the people that I've connected with are people that were in the same situation that I am, people who are going through journeys that I have gone through as well. So when people come across my page, they don't realize that I was homeless when I was pregnant. They don't realize that I got the house that I moved in with my daughter a day before I gave birth, that I was laying carpet whilst heavily pregnant the day before I gave birth with my daughter, because there was no one else to help me and I didn't have the funds to do it. But that is my test. That is my story, you know, and those moments that have gone through have made me the person who I am. But I was really internalizing all the potential that I had, because I just thought, oh, someone is going to think negatively of me, right? And so I limited myself. But an opportunity can be presented to you either by this incredible man that you can see here, or either by someone else, and it might just look like just a simple opportunity, but you never ever know what that opportunity could unlock. How am I coaching a team of 70 people, some in the US, some in the UK, and I was that introvert, that shy and nervous, was living financially paycheck to paycheck. Yes, I could be a teacher in front of the classroom, but out of that, I had no confidence at all, right? And seeing my journey right now, thinking about the journey that I've gone through over the last 2.5 years, and I'm getting emotional because my daughter has watched me go through it purely from the very beginning. She knows who I was, and she knows who I am right now, right? She's gone through that journey with me. And she said something yesterday. She said, Mum, how have you become the person who reads more books than I do? Mum, get up and do that live. Mum, go up and help that family member, you know? Because I've had the conversation where I've integrated her in what I am doing, and I am changing her mindset, and I'm helping her to have that business mindset that I never had growing up. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys ever have conversations about business with your family members?
Personally, I haven't,
No.
but
No,
no,
let's just be honest. It's not
personally.
something that we spoke about. We went to school.
No.
We learned about how we're going to go and work a job and be someone else's employee. But we need to change the narrative, and that's why conversations like what you guys are doing and you helping other people to see that there's more to life outside the 9 to 5. There is more to life outside you working for someone else. Exactly, there's more to it. And I was reading a book this morning, and it says you do 2 things in your life. Either you work on your business and your goals and your dreams, or you go and work for someone else's business and dreams.
Yeah.
Let me just say that slowly, right?
I love that.
You have 2 choices. You either go and work for someone else's dream, or you go and learn and work for your own dreams and achieve them.
Lots of space for me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's deep.
That is really, really deep. And I'll bring you a little bit back into regards to the aspect of residual income, because I didn't know what residual income is, and I'm sure you guys didn't actually know about it as well before you started your business. But I have given myself more of a pay rise than my teaching career has given me. I'm on strike today. I'm a teacher, and I took a strike confidently, not worrying, because I know that my business is paying me residual income that covers me being off work and me actually standing up for what other teachers and other students really deserve. Now, that word residual income is not really spoken about. I didn't know about it. But when you get into common, or even understood, I'm like, what is residual income? What are you on about? Like, you know, I go to work, I get paid, and that's it. You know, so my journey has been incredible. I've learned a lot. I've developed a lot. I've developed alongside my team, and I've developed alongside me and my daughter. And she said to me the other day, can I not just start the business whilst I'm 17 and a half? Like, what if I just start a day before my 18th birthday? I'm like, darling, you can't do that. Don't do that. But yeah.
So the question I wanted to ask you, in terms of like programming, I know environment had to do a lot with that. So what steps did you take to reprogram your subconscious mind to be an entrepreneur, businesswoman?
Okay, the first and
like
most
you are
important thing that you need to do is surround yourself with people who've achieved something that you're working towards, right? Now, I know if you go and approach someone, let's take, for example, a millionaire. If you go and you approach a millionaire and you ask them, how did you get to that where you are, they are going to give you some tips. They're not just going to say, oh, come on, leave me alone. They're actually going to share some tips with you. So the first thing that I did is I surrounded myself with people that I saw that were living or they were achieving the goals that I was working towards. Because we say that the 5 people you surround yourself with on a day-to-day basis, you're going to be a product of them. So if they're lazy, they're negative, you're going to be negative as well. If they're positive, if they're driven, you're going to be positive as well. If they're having an income about a higher level than you, you're going to find yourself doing things on a day-to-day basis that are going to help you to actually get to another level with them. Yeah, you level up with them. So that's the first thing I did. I decided to surround myself with the right people. And what I'm going to say here, if you don't have the right people within your community right now or within your social network, books are amazing. Podcasts, YouTube, so many incredible people out there that's sharing so much value for free, right? So I then started thinking about what area do I want to work on, my personal development, my confidence, and I started reading up on that. The one book that I would recommend is, what's it called? The Slight Edge. A phenomenal book, absolutely incredible. The Slight Edge and Atomic Habits. So those books became my best friend. I realized that the habits that I had were unhealthy and I needed to go and create healthy habits. How I went to create those healthy habits is by me reading about it and really figuring out what are the bad habits that I've got and how can I adapt them to having healthy habits. Once I started adapting those healthy habits, and I don't want you to think that you just go and say, boom, I'm stopping everything. I started with one thing at a time. Okay, I'm watching too much TV. How can I use my time a little bit wiser? Great. Read a book, listen to a podcast. Okay, I'm hanging around people who, after the conversation, I feel really, my energy strained. What do I need to do? Limit that conversation. You know, those little healthy habits that you can adapt really have a big impact in you. So is surround yourself with the right people. That is the one best place that I'd say you start, and then be willing to be part of your own rescue. That is big.
Definitely.
You've got to be willing to be part of your own rescue. Every single person in the whole world is going through something. Definitely, and I don't mean that just because other people are going through bigger things than you, that what you're going through is belittled. No, I'm just saying that every single person is going through something, right? But the difference between people who are going through something and succeeding is that they see that they're going through something and they decide, do you know what? I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to do something to help me to overcome this and to help me to get to another level from it. That's the only difference, is the fact that they are proactive and they see that situation, things are happening for them instead of to them. You know?
To them, yeah. So in terms of habits, right? I know you say you're a big reader. I can tell by how you speak, very articulate with your words. For those people that's trying to like probably change their mindset, how long would you advise them to read per day to get them to shift their mindset?
Do you know what?
Before you ask that question, I'm just going to be a tiny bit rude because I know you've got something coming up, so be aware of the time because I don't want you to. Are you okay?
No, it's okay. I'm just going to get my laptop in a minute and just send a couple of messages. Cool. The one thing that I would say is, if you are trying to create healthy habits, start small. Start with, even if it's just 2 pages a day. Because you don't need to start with big things. Start with 2 pages a day. Because the one thing that you want to do is to create healthy habits and create that consistency. Consistency is key. If you do something for 21 days, it becomes a habit. So let's say, for example, you start by reading. It could be reading, if you're not a reader, podcast. Amazing, love it. Or even listening to an audiobook, amazing. So find what works well for you. Is it reading? Is it listening? Is it watching? And then just really change that, the reading and the watching and the listening, into something that is going to empower you in itself. And I'm more than happy to recommend a few books, and I'm sure you guys have a few books that you could recommend as well. So you can start with very small things. So start with 2 pages a day. Start with 10 minutes or 5 minutes of reading or 5 minutes of watching an empowering video. And then you will find that you actually start learning so much, you don't want to stop. And
I love what you said about reading, but also when you read as well, a lot of people read a lot, but they're not implementing. So I would advise to implement what you read, because there's no point you reading a lot of books and you're not really putting it into action. Like, that's something I started doing before, and I was reading, and I was like, why don't I put it in action? And since I started implementing it within my life, I started seeing a quantum leap within my business, but within myself as well. But yeah, that's a little.
You see progress, you have to apply. And obviously, if you're reading about, let's say, for example, you're reading about 10 healthy habits, right? Work on one habit. And then once you've mastered that, go to the next one. Once you've mastered that, and that is mean you actually applying the knowledge and you're actually putting the things that you're learning on your day-to-day life, right? Then you move on to the next one. There is this thing that was shared by one of our top income earner within our company, and they said, when you are reading, even if you're reading a page, read as if you're going to be actually explaining that page to someone else.
I like that. Yeah.
If you're reading as if you're going to be explaining that part of it that you've read to someone else. And that really helps you to actually concentrate in that in itself. I've surprised myself because I never used to be a reader. I used to think, I've gone to uni, I've done my reading, I'm done. No, so yeah, that's what I would definitely say.
Thank you. And obviously, time is really short right now, but I just want to say we're super grateful for having you on here. It's been a pleasure. There was a lot of nuggets I got from you, gems. I know people that's viewing as well, they could implement a couple of the stuff you mentioned there. But I just want to say I'm super grateful.
I just want to say hi, everyone. Seriously, thank you everyone for joining me. I can see a few of my teams there. I can see a few of my followers on there. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you have taken any value from this, seriously, do pass it along and inspire someone else as well. And the one thing that I'd say is that when you've listened to something or when you've watched something and it's empowered you, go and share it with someone else that it can empower them as well. We're in a season of collaboration, not competition. We all have a space. We can all win in life. And the way that we all win in life is by us sharing all the amazing things that we come across, and we inspire someone else along the way. And I was also going to say, and I'd really love to maybe do another live with you guys in a time when I already haven't committed into something much more longer, can give it a long time. But I wanted to say to anyone who's listening to this now or later, and say that dream was given to you for a reason, right? If you've got a dream, it was given to you for a reason, and it will impact your life, but yes, it's also going to impact other people's life. And if this incredible gents here have come to you and have shared an incredible opportunity with you, just be open to taking a look, right? Because I think back into, if I didn't take a look into what our business opportunity really is, 70 families would not have been impacted the way that they have been impacted. My family would not have been impacted the way that it has been impacted. The person that you are listening to right now would not be here. I'd still be in that place, depressed, lonely, lost, struggling financially, right? So be willing to actually be willing and open to take a look, and be willing to listen to what other people are sharing with you, because they're sharing it with you because they see value in you first and foremost, and they want to see you succeeding as well in life. That is the one thing that I've really taken on from my journey and from going through my business as well. So yeah, I just wanted to really leave that in there and say that I'm sure you guys, my inbox is always open for anyone, and I'm sure the gents here inboxes are always open for to touch base with them and to learn from them. But yeah, we can all win and we can all succeed. It's all about collaboration over competition and support.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that. That's amazing. Amazing. One more question before you go. I know you're going right now. What impact would you want to leave on the world?
For me, I want to leave I'm a single parent, and it's a hard journey. I want to know that every single parent who's become a single parent, either by choice or either by circumstances, to know that they are going to achieve just as much as they intend to, and they're raising incredible children as well. I have seen the struggle that it is being a single parent, and I've seen the struggle of having a child who's a single parent child. And I just want every single person who's either a single parent or any single person who has a dream to know that they can achieve it as well. And if by me sharing motivational speeches or by me sharing what I do leaves a mark in someone's life, then I'm really happy. But the one thing that I'm going to say as well, so often we think about the impact we're going to leave on other people, that we forget ourselves. Again, I'm going back to, I'm starting with that person in the mirror, right? The one thing when I started really thinking about how I'm going to impact the people in my life is I thought, do you know what? It's okay if the person that I impact is me. And that is okay. It's okay for you to want to start a business for you. It's okay for you to want to start reading a book for you, right? Because the moments that I worked on myself, look at how many people I've impacted. Right, and we're just getting started. So that's the one thing that I really want to leave a mark, where women, men feel confident and they know that there is more to life outside of the 9 to 5, and they have so much potential within them. They just have to be willing to unlock it.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm going to say a couple of things before you go. One, I'm sure there's people who would like to hear this again. So afterwards, I'm going to do a backup of this, and there'll be a link to this on our YouTube channel that we have. And also, it mirrors what a conversation that I had with someone today. I was giving them a bit of advice. And long story short, you can't help someone if your cup is empty. Fill your cup, and then you can help that much more many people. So, yeah, I really appreciate your time with us. And this definitely won't be our last conversation. So I better let you go to your little session as well. So we really appreciate you coming to join us. We're really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. And again, even for you guys, my inbox is always open. And keep doing the amazing work that you are doing. You're impacting so many other people's lives. And I just wanted to say, not every single person who's touched by what you do will say it. Some people get impacted and they keep it to themselves. So just keep going, and just know that you are placed in this earth for a reason. There's a reason why you started this live, and it's impacting so many other people. You just might know about it. And thank you so much for giving me the space to share a little snippet of my journey. I feel like I've got more, but we'll do that another time.
Yeah, I'll do. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you
definitely, we're
so
humbled
much.
by your presence
Thank
today.
you for
It's
having
good.
me.
It's amazing.
Bye, Jen.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.